It is possible to have a smooth month ahead, especially if you take the time to do these 7 things. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you may already know about my monthly accountability meeting. This is an appointment I have with myself at the start of every month. And I've got to be honest with you, I have been slacking. I have been avoiding this meeting because of a few reasons, but the main reason that I've been avoiding it is because I'm actually avoiding coming to terms with some pretty slow months, some incomplete or unreached goals. And even though I know full well that having this meeting helps me get back on track, there is this sense of shame that is lingering. So I've made 2 decisions. And the first one is I wanted to admit this to you because I wanted you to know that not everything in my life is perfect. And I know that this is the Women's Empowerment Podcast, and sometimes empowerment means owning who you are on the good days and the bad days. And my second decision is that I'm revamping my monthly accountability meeting to make it more exciting. And so I'm going to do my accountability meeting in cute cafes instead of at home where I can avoid it really easily. So this month, I'm going to be doing my accountability meeting at Wet Coffee. It's this little cafe in Oakville. And not only am I revamping where I complete this accountability meeting, but I'm also going to mix up some of the things that I'm tracking and doing. So let's get into it. The first thing you want to do every month is set the vibe. Do this for your meeting, but also for your month ahead. As I mentioned, I'm in this cute little cafe with a lovely coffee and an almond croissant. And before I even get into the details, I'm centering myself into the present moment. So I'd like you to ask, how can I show up as my fullest, most present self in this meeting? If it helps, you can create the vibe in your space. You can light a candle, play some music, diffuse essential oils, set up your crystals, clean your desk. You get the idea. You do you, boo. It's helpful to decrease distractions when you're about to go into this sort of ritual or routine. And one of the reasons why I'm not doing my accountability meeting at home is because this helps me decrease distractions at home. So you can put your phone on airplane mode, do not disturb. Let people know, let people in your space, in your home, in your office, let them know that you are not to be disturbed, or just leave and go somewhere else like I did. I usually take a few deep breaths, maybe close my eyes and feel my feet planted on the earth and to help me ground in the space. I take as many deep breaths as I need to just show up and be present and prepared. If you remember last week's episode, we talked about the practice of releasing tension and setting intention. So now let's set the vibe for the month ahead. Ask, how do I want to feel this month? Or how do I want to show up for myself and others? Get clarity on what is meaningful to you and what feelings you want to embody. I typically encourage choosing 1 to 3 feeling words for the month. And once you have those feeling words, open up the alarm app on your phone and create a new daily alarm with the label of your feeling words so that every day when the alarm goes off, you see the feeling words and connect to them in that moment. This month, I'm using the same 3 feeling words I did last month, which were strong, joyful, and purpose. Speaking of last month, the next thing you want to do at the start of every month is review the month before. What you review should be meaningful to your goals. If this accountability meeting is for your health and well-being, you want to be tracking and measuring actions related to your health. If this is for your business, you want to track things that are meaningful to your business. If you aren't sure what specific things you can be tracking, consider the goals that you've set and what actions need to be taken to reach those specific goals. For example, if you want to improve your overall health and wellness, you can track how many workouts you do in a month or how many classes or the types of classes you went to. You can take physical photos of your body to measure your progress, and you can track how many meals you made at home. For myself, these accountability meetings are for my business mostly. Even though there are a few things that I do track and change each quarter, there are still a few things that stay the same. For instance, every month I track my spending. This includes how much I spend in different categories like supplies or wages, and it also tracks I also track how much money I make from different services and offerings that I have. I have a few different goals this year, such as participating more in speaking opportunities, monetizing the podcast, hiring help in some areas of my business, and building a YouTube channel. And the day before I was producing this specific podcast episode, I received an email from my podcast host subscription site that said Women's Empowerment Podcast was eligible for monetizing. So if you're listening to the show, you may or may not be hearing ads at the start or end of this episode. And this is a big deal, my friend. I am thrilled to be able to continue serving my audience while I build my own wealth, which allows me to grow in many more ways and support many people. So thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. And if you're on YouTube, thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. Some of the other things I'm tracking each month are time tracked on my business tasks, days I've taken completely off, times I went out of my comfort zone, which podcast episodes performed the best that month, and of all time, where leads came from, social media outreach, and the return on investment for each of the platforms I'm on, what I'm most proud of. Once you feel like you've really combed through the previous month and you have assessed the data that you've collected, you can be better prepared for the month ahead. And if you're collecting the right data, you can make more informed decisions moving forward. It also helps to see what is working as well as what isn't working. So you can either bring more energy and attention into different parts of your life and business that aren't working to help and support it. Or perhaps it's something you need to tweak and let go of. Last year, I felt like I was losing so much focus in my business, so I hired a business coach to help me center in on what was most important and supportive through leveling up or for my leveling up. And some of our goals will need more than a month at a time to complete, but checking in on those bigger goals each month and creating smaller tasks and actions to help to get those bigger goals, that's going to help us move the needle forward better as well as faster. And because we can see what's working and what is slipping through the cracks, we can rearrange and spend our resources more wisely. So with the information that we've been able to collect from the month before and after reviewing the data, we can now move on to the third thing that we can do at the start of each month, which is to set goals for the month ahead. I think a lot of us get really excited about this one and we're eager to dive right in. And listen, I get it because that's me too. I am just go, 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 whatever. Last month is over. Let's connect into the future. Let's just get into it. And I get that. But I really want to emphasize how important it is to review the previous month before setting goals for the month ahead. Take it from me, you will achieve your goals in less time with little to no burnout when you know where you are starting from and what that starting point is or where you're coming from, because you have all the information and you're not wasting your time or your precious resources. When you're ready to set the goals for the month, I want you to circle back to the feeling words that you said in the very first part of this meeting. When you think of your feeling words, I'll use mine as an example. How can you tap into those feeling words in the present? My feeling words were strong, joyful, and purpose. I feel strong when I move my body consistently, especially when I'm at the gym or at a reformer Pilates class. I also feel strong when I take risks and follow my intuition. I feel joyful when I'm around the people I love and when I'm interacting with others, doing the work that I do. I feel purpose when I'm speaking and sharing my truth authentically and when I'm able to empower and support women with their own health and life. Now your turn. Ask, how can I tap into my feeling words in the present? When you have the answer, you can start to understand what daily actions will help you reach your goals. For instance, showing up as my best, most authentic self means I feel good in my body, inside and out. I start the day with a healthy breakfast and a workout or some type of movement before I sit down at my desk to create or share. This helps me feel strong in myself as well as in my messaging. Ask yourself, what habits, routines, or rituals can I stack and track this month to support my goals? Essentially, what we're doing is we're breaking our bigger goals down into smaller, more bite-sized ones, with the goal of getting more speaking engagements and being a guest on other people's podcasts. I can break that goal down into smaller actions like research podcasts that I would make a good guest on, or write out complimenting topics and titles for each podcast. Listen to the shows that I want to be a guest on, reach out and pitch myself to the podcast hosts, and follow up with those show hosts as well. Even though I have my own podcast, some of these actions intimidate me. And truthfully, I'm a little bit nervous just even speaking them out loud. I'm also excited to put myself out there. Something new I'm starting to incorporate into these monthly accountability meetings is what I believe to make a very smooth and satisfying month ahead. It's adding some or all of these into your calendar. The first one is a brunch meetup with friends. Get the gang together for waffles or whatever breakfast food or whatever you're enjoying. Our gals like brunch, so that's what we do. Maybe it's a Pilates class and a coffee date for you, whatever, just get together with your friends. The other thing is a social media fast, either 24 hours of no social media or some sort of intermittent social media fasting. I'm really working on this one. I used to do 24 hours on the weekend, but I like the idea of the intermittent social media as a lifestyle and kind of daily practice. So no social media from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. or something like that. Date night, I wrote here minimum one. And to be honest, I think my partner and I are pretty good at this, but it's a little more spontaneous for us than intentional. I think it'd be really nice to have something on the calendar to get excited about or dressed up for. The other thing to add is a day spent outdoors. I get outside, I want to say every day. I wish it was every day, but I get outside quite a bit. As the weather starts to warm up, and even before it does, I really like to spend more time outside. I need some ideas of how to spend my day outside. I live in the suburbs. Please tell me. Or maybe share with me where you're spending your time outside and I can do something similar. Let me know in the comments on YouTube or send me a DM on Instagram. You can find me at Val LaVigne Life. Add an adventure day exploring a new town or place to your calendar. I used to do this a lot more, and I don't know. I don't know why I don't do this as much. I guess I wasn't being intentional about it, but I love this. There are so many short drives from where I live that have these tiny towns to explore and wander. Where should I go this month? Also open to suggestions if you want to share. And another thing is a day to do whatever fills your heart or excites you. Okay, I know some of these would be better as more spontaneous things. However, in my brain, if it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't get done. So instead, I'm just going to block off the day to do whatever this is and just allow that spontaneity. That's a fun word. Allow the spontaneity to come the day of. A couple more things are 1 to 2 body work appointments. So I love seeing my osteopath. I love getting a massage. I'm pretty good at doing these things. However, similar to date night, it's nice to have something to look forward to, and it helps me with my boundaries and my schedule if I'm putting it in my calendar with my self-care. So another thing is white space in your days or your weeks. I've really been trying to add this in daily, but I think I need to mix them up to be a little less frequent for myself because I'm noticing they aren't a non-negotiable for me. Oops. So white space is a dedicated time for mental breaks or pauses from other work or commitments. And it's an opportunity to just let your mind wander. It's a time where we aren't supposed to be stimulated by technology or tasks. Speaking of tasks, catch up days to complete tasks. Sometimes we make our to-do list with more energy and excitement than we actually have to complete those to-do lists. So I usually pop in 2 or 3 days a month for me to catch up and organize things in my life and in my business. And I'm looking around and it's the current state of my office, which is really messy. There's stuff everywhere. Oh my goodness. Yikes. So as you're listening to this list, did any of these little extra things excite you or appeal to you? Notice which ones you'd like to add or incorporate into your own months. Maybe my ideas inspired some of your own ideas. This is really about doing things that light you up and that are fun, that help you create a little more work-life balance. Another thing we can do for a smooth month ahead is create a And I put in brackets here 30-day challenge for yourself. This could be 21 days or 28 days instead. The idea is that you have something you can measure or stack into your current routines and habits that helps to support you and stretch you. This challenge is meant to be, as I said, supportive, not stressful. Okay. It's not here to stress you out more. It's here to support you. You can also turn one of your habits or action steps towards your goals into a challenge. For example, perhaps my challenge this month is to reach out to 5 podcast hosts a day for the next 30 days, which would be a total of 150 hosts. And I would pitch myself to their podcasts. If I said reach out to 150 people, that would definitely intimidate me or overwhelm me, but 5 a day seems more manageable. And then the challenge part is exciting the competitive nature in me or the competitive side of me where I want to win or achieve something. You might know that I host a 21-day healthy habit challenge, and I have very recently, like in the last couple days, very recently decided to change this up a little bit. So instead of hosting my challenges seasonally, I will be hosting only one challenge per year. Our last challenge started in January. However, I'm going to run one more this year. You can get on the waitlist at valerielevigneLife.com/challenge. Another thing you can do today for a smooth month ahead and a new part of my monthly accountability meeting is write out how the month went for you, as if you've completed the month already. Write it out in the past tense. This is a manifesting technique. I used to be really into manifesting, and I've talked a lot about it in earlier episodes of the podcast. And I'd like to bring that back into the show and do it more as well for myself, practicing manifestation. Manifesting is turning your thoughts and ideas into your realities. And while a lot of people might categorize it as woo-y, there's actually quite a science to it. And I think I'm going to save that for a future podcast episode. For this specific manifesting practice, we are writing out in detail how the month went for us. Similar to a journal entry of what happened in your smooth month, you can ask, which goals did you reach? What magic or miracles did you witness? What pleasant surprises unfolded for you? What adventures did you go on? What obstacles or challenges did you overcome? And anything else, you can do this in a dedicated journal or book or a file on your computer. And I think what's really fun about this, if you want to take it just a little bit deeper, is to read what you wrote in the month before and then write another one at the end of the month of what did happen and see how or what manifested for you. It's very important to be detailed and to write it out as if it already happened. So past or present tense only. This is part of that manifesting magic because our brain doesn't understand what's real and what's an idea. So when it listens to, or when you're reading it and writing it, it is a little more powerful if you write it with pen to paper. But when you are looking back on it, and you're reading it or writing it in that past tense, your brain is starting to believe that it's true and that it already happened. And so it knows what's possible for you. One last thing to do for a smooth month is pull an oracle card or a tarot card, whatever. I have been doing this forever, and it's my way of closing the ritual. The deck that I use is called Wisdom of the Oracle, and I'll link it for you, obviously. Usually I do this practice and I'll ask questions like, what messages do I need for the month? Or what will support me through this month? Or what is something I need to know going into the month? Something along those lines. If you want to pull multiple cards, you can, or if there's a particular spread that you want to do, that you can definitely do that. I prefer just one card for the month. As I mentioned, it's a nice way to close the practice and maybe give you a little wisdom of something that you were thinking about, perhaps a confirmation, or just a nice little message from the oracle. Sometimes it's really fun and, gentle, not like the tarot. But since we're on the topic of wooey, I have one little bonus for you. Look up when the new and full moons of the month are going to be and plug those into your calendar also. New moons are all about new beginnings, manifestation, and intention. This date would be a really good time to try something new or start something new. It's also a good time to set any goals that you want to achieve in the next 6 months. Full moons are great for seeing the full picture of where you're at with your goals. They are this auspicious time to receive the fruits of your manifestations, or perhaps they're more potent for letting go of what isn't meant for you. The full moon is sort of an ending of a chapter that began 6 months before, and it's this illumination of information, and it's up to you for what you're going to do with that information.